Hey there, it's Crystal Everdeen, and today I'm going to share with you how to crochet a Mickey Mouse inspired cup cozy. And this video is in collaboration with myself because I have a Disney channel here on YouTube, and if you are a Disney fan, I believe that you would really like this channel. So if you would please go check it out, the link to my second channel will be in the description box below. And if you would subscribe to it, that would be awesome, and you'd have a lot of fun because I make a lot of Disney videos that are super duper fun. So yeah, thank you very much, and on to the tutorial. For this project, I'm using 3 different colors of size 4 100% acrylic yarn from the brand Red Heart, and it is the really cheap, scratchy kind, but that's okay because we're not going to be making clothes today. We're going to be making cup cozies, so as long as it looks pretty, it's okay. I'm also using a size 5mm hook, and the 3 colors I'm going to be using today are black, yellow, and red. So first we're going to start with the black yarn, so grab your black yarn and make a slip knot, then chain 40 chains. And if you're unfamiliar with what a slip knot is or what a chain is, or if you're new to crochet in general, I do have a crocheting for beginners video that I will link in the description box below, so you can watch that, practice for a bit, and then come back to this one. So again, we are chaining 40 chains for the base of this crochet cup cozy, and I got the number 40 because while I was trying to figure out how I was going to make this cup cozy, I had a Starbucks cup that I kept, and I just wrapped the chain around the cup until it was long enough for the 2 ends to meet, and wrap around the Starbucks cup rather snugly because you don't want it too loose, otherwise it's just going to fall off all the time. And of course, you can make your cup cozy any size you want. If you would like to make it larger or smaller, that's perfectly fine and up to you. Just grab whatever mug or cup you want your cup cozy to fit, and then measure it out. Make sure that the chain is long enough to wrap around the cup, but also snug enough to actually be able to stay up while you're drinking from the cup or mug. And after you have completed your 40 chains, or however many chains you need to wrap around your cup or mug, then you're going to go back on that chain using a single crochet. And if you're unfamiliar with a single crochet is putting your hook through the stitch, wrapping your yarn around the hook, bringing it back through the stitch, wrapping it around your hook again, and then bringing it through the last 2 loops. So through the stitch, wrap around, back through the stitch, wrap around, and then back through the last 2 loops. And I know it's hard to see with black yarn, plus I'm going pretty fast, but again, if you are new to crochet, then please watch my Crocheting for Beginners video. That will be linked in the description box below. I use brighter yarn so it's easier to see, and I go a lot slower, of course, so yeah, that'll be in the description box below. And once you reach the end of the row, then your project should look like this, just a plain row of single crochet. But now we need to make this project round, and in order to do that, we are going to attach both ends of this row of single crochet, and it's actually quite easy. All you have to do is align both ends so that the stitches you want to attach each other to are lined up, and then you just attach both of them using a slip stitch, and that's it. After you have attached both of the ends together, then the project is going to be a circle, and that's exactly what you want. And this is how we're going to complete the cup cozy. So from here, just chain 1, and then continue making rows and rows of single crochets. It's just, instead of going back and forth on a linear row, you're just going to go around and around until you build this portion of the cup cozy to the size you want. And yeah, that's really it. You're just going to continue going around and around and around until you have about maybe 1.5 to 2 inches worth of the black portion of this project. So whatever size you want Mickey's head to be, that's how many rows you're going to make. Again, everyone is going to want to make different size crochet cozies based on whatever cup they're making this for. For me, I made about 8 or 10 rows of single crochet and I got the size that I wanted. Again, you don't want this to be too big and overwhelm the entire cozy, so just keep that in mind. Again, I made about 8 to 10 rows of single crochet, and the reason I don't know the exact number is because I never really keep track. I just go by how it looks like, and occasionally I would fit the cozy onto the cup and visualize what I wanted it to look like. And I would suggest that you do the same thing. That way you can figure out how big you want this portion of the cup cozy to be and how large you would like the cup cozy in general to be. So after you're happy with the size of Mickey's head, then you're going to grab your red yarn and attach it to your starting point, and you can attach it however way you want, but this is how I attach a new color. All I do is basically replace the old color I was using with the new color on the hook, and then I just continue crocheting, and that's just how I attach it. But of course you can attach it any way that you want to. You can tie the two ends of the yarn together and then that's how you attach it, or I don't know, any other way. But yeah, just attach the new color and start working with red now right on top of the black, and it should look seamless like so. And you're going to create another couple rows of single crochet but using the red as opposed to the black. And I believe I probably made a few rows less with the red than I did with the black, just to make the shorts a little bit smaller than the head because I wanted the head to stand out a little bit more. Plus I'm going to add the yellow at the bottom, so I don't want the bottom portion of the cozy to be too big. So say if I made 8 rows of the black yarn, I probably made 6 rows of the red yarn. And I just completed my first row, and now I'm just going to continue on to my second row of the red, and then just build and build until I'm happy with the size of this portion of the cup cozy. This is what it looks like so far, and then once I continue, it starts to look a little bit better and more like the Mickey we all know and love. Not really, it's just 2 different colors right now, but it's getting there. And like I said, I'm going to add a little bit of yellow at the bottom. Now, the people that I've shown this cup cozy to, once it was completed, were wondering what the yellow was for, and the reason I added the yellow was because I wanted it to represent Mickey's shoes. And usually when you think of Mickey Mouse colors, you think of black, red, white, and yellow. So I figured, why not add the yellow? And I actually really like this addition, but you don't have to add it if you don't want to. But yeah, I'm just going to attach the yellow yarn to the back of the cup cozy, and I determined the back of the cup cozy to be the point where we attached the 2 ends of that first row of single crochet that we made, just because it's kind of, I don't know how to explain it. It's not as flush as everywhere else. You can see where the first row was and where the last row ends there in the back. It's kind of hard to explain, but I'm sure once you're making it, you'll see it and you'll understand, and want to make that the back of the cozy as well so it doesn't show. But anyway, yeah, so I just made 1 row of the yellow yarn, and I thought that was a really nice touch. And after I was done with that, I just detached the yarn from the project and then sealed the project like so, cut off the excess yarn later, and then I grabbed my black yarn again so I can make Mickey's ears. And the way I made Mickey's ears was simply by making a slip stitch and then chaining 3, then going into the very first chain that I made and making a single crochet. Then I had this little cluster of stitches, and what I did was stick my hook through the center of that little cluster and made 7 single crochets within that same circle or same stitch right in the middle. And after I've completed the 7th stitch going into that same middle stitch, then I built upon those single crochets that I made and went around the circle with some more single crochets going into every stitch, and just kept building rows and rows of single crochet on top of each other until I was happy with the size of my circle. And if you're very confused and you can't really see what's going on here, because again I'm using black yarn and it's hard to see, I do have another tutorial in which I make circles like this. They are on a larger scale, but it'll give you a better understanding of how to make circles in general. But again, all you have to do is chain 3, then go into that very first chain with a single crochet, and then find the center stitch within that cluster that you just made, and then make 7 single crochets within that center stitch. And then after you've created 7 single crochets within that same stitch, you're going to start a new row by single crocheting on top of those single crochet stitches that you made, and then you're going to just continue going around and around until you have made a circle that's large enough to serve as Mickey's ear. And after you are happy with the size of your circle, then you're going to detach the yarn from the yarn ball and seal the project. Then you're going to do it all over again for the second ear. Just make sure they are the same size and then align them to where you would want them to be. And then you could either attach them to the cup cozy using hot glue, or you can use yarn and just slip stitch it together. But I decided that I was actually going to sew them on because I found that to be the easiest option for me. Plus, it's very secure and easier for me to sew it on as opposed to using the yarn to attach them, just because it's bulky and I don't really like attaching things together with yarn unless I have to. So I'm just going to sew the 2 pieces together like so. And after I'm finished with this one, I'm just going to go ahead and sew on the other one, and then I will add one more little detail to make this more Mickey, and then we'll be done. So that last little detail I was talking about are the 2 buttons that are on Mickey's shorts, and I did not want to crochet itty bitty tiny little circles, so I just grabbed a bit of white felt and cut out 2 little circles, and afterward I attached it with a needle and thread, but it didn't really work out that well, and I would suggest that you actually just attach them with some glue. I made a bunch of these for my friends and family because they absolutely love these, and I ended up just using hot glue for the little buttons just because it was so much easier, and sometimes the thread would actually go through the felt, so it wouldn't even keep it on the project, so that was rather annoying. Plus it shows, the stitch shows on the white felt, so it's better to just glue them on. Use some really strong super glue and it shouldn't fall off. You should be fine. And that's it. After you're done with that, you're done with the project. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and have lots of fun making your Mickey Mouse crochet cozy. take it to Disneyland, take some pictures with it, and if you post those on Instagram, please tag me at Crystal Everdeen or at Crystal Everdeen Crochet. I do have two different accounts. The Crystal Everdeen one is my main account, and that one is mostly Disney and lifestyle, but the Crystal Everdeen Crochet is just crochet, and I would appreciate if you just tag both of them. That way I can have a better chance of actually seeing it. Furthermore, if you're not following me on Instagram already, please follow me at Crystal Everdeen. It is a fun time. And again, this is in collaboration with myself. So please check out my other channel if you love Disney and Disney videos. You'll have a lot of fun there. I do have a lot of Disney inspired videos that I think you'll really enjoy, and the link to my channel will be in the description box below, so please click that red subscribe button if you have not already on that channel as well. Finally, if you've made it to the end, thank you so much for enduring everything I had to say. So here's a sneak peek of what's coming next. That's right, my friends, I am also going to be posting a tutorial on how to make a crochet Minnie Mouse cup cozy, and once it's up, I will link it in the description box below, so be sure that you check out the description box for all the links. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and also don't forget to click that red subscribe button if you have not already, so I can see you next time. Bye!